Well, not everyone. Oh, a few people that don't know. I am Art Walker. Jules knows of me. DJI, I don't know, not yet. There's a few in here that don't know of me. So anyway, no problem at all. I am Art Walker. Let me just adjust my camera a little bit, just a touch. Looks a bit tight on the edge there, so make sure we've got everything in the actual view here. Just a second. So what do? I'm a teacher. I teach people how to draw. You're so famous. That's cool. Am I? Where am I famous? I don't know where I'm famous. Maybe where you live, which is pretty cool. Nice to see you, Black Wizard. Nice to see you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you guys through the basics of 3D objects. No, not hair today. I don't draw many haired people. You probably know why. No hate. Thank you, Via. Is it Via or Vlahopoulos? No. We will be touching on muscles. Yes, we will be touching on muscles. But first, as you can see, understanding 3D objects is the key to muscle drawing. That's probably why, because you saw this. Excuse me. I should have actually put something else there. But we're going to touch on muscles as well, because we are drawing people, right? So everyone grab a pen and paper, or pencil and paper, and draw along. Draw along is so important. And for me, it's important that you actually forward or share or repost this live stream, invite your friends and so on. It's important so you can keep me going. Everyone help the old man out. I need your support. You need mine. I can offer you this skill that I have. So I need you guys to just press that button, send to help me out. And I will do this for you guys forever. That's all. You do it for me, I'll do it for you. And I can see a few of you have already done that. So thank you very much. And all you have to do is hit the like button. It's all the algorithm thing. And we just have to make do and follow the rules of the game. Good. So I draw quite complex. I'm going to go quickly through. What folder have I got here? Oh yeah, this is the Marvel folder, right? So I'm going to go through some very I won't take them out of the sleeves. I'll just switch off the light very quickly because it's reflecting. Or turn it down a bit. No, I'm going to switch it off just quick so you can see what I've got here, right? So I've got we're going to talk about the human body, right? So here we've got some examples of how I normally draw the human body, right? If I want to draw it, I draw it quite precisely, quite intricately. Whoops, naked man. Don't know if I'm allowed to show that. So this is what we're going to learn how to do. So as you can see, I've got an example of the male leg and so on. And it goes further and further and further. So what we're going to do is we're not going to go into that depth. I just wanted to show you how I use these techniques to maybe draw different types of characters, martial artists, I don't know what's on here, Batman and stuff like that. So we're going to learn 3D objects, then we're going to learn, or then you can see how I apply it to certain things like that. So these are the steps you have to understand if you want to understand how to draw anything pretty much. So let's get into this. I'll switch on the light again, just so it's not too dark. Yeah, so not too bright. Good. So everybody got pen and paper? Let's get on with it. Let's get on. And if you like what you see, please hit the like button. So we are going to draw simple circles. All right, and then we're going to draw simple boxes. So everyone draw along, please. And that's the idea, that you get used to understanding why we're doing this. Simple rectangles. This is absolutely for beginners, right? So I say it's absolutely for beginners, but it's something we all should practice. And in fact, I'm quite happy I'm practicing this actually. So let's get... In fact, let's draw some larger ones, larger circles here. So we've got larger circles, and let's go larger boxes here. We probably won't use all of these. However, I'm just giving you an example as to what we can use to draw the human body. And in fact, let's draw some triangles like so. So has everybody done that? No, I didn't even. I know I didn't finish the Spider-Man. I was doing a lot of correcting offline. As you can see, I was doing a lot of correcting. I took out a lot of stuff, but he will be. Give me time on that one. That's gonna take a while. That's gonna take a while. Take a while. So, has everyone drawn these very, very basic shapes? All right. Thank you, Tim. Thank you very much. So, draw some diagonal lines like this. Just simple diagonal lines. Both ways. And I bet you're all thinking, what is he talking about? He's lost his mind. What has this got to do with 3D shapes? I will show you in due course. So when you've done that, just hit yes, got it, done it, ready to rumble. So what has this got to do with 3D shapes? I hear you ask. So, everyone done it? Everyone done it? I'll take that as a yes. So, I'm going to draw one circle here and then one circle here. Then I'm going to take two of these diagonal lines and connect it. Can you see something already? What do you see? I know this is a basic tutorial for some, but this is a tutorial people have to understand and learn. Exactly. You see like a cylinder, or in fact you see a rod, because a cylinder, right? We could say it's a cylindrical object. So we could have here is like a tube, for example, and then we have here a cylinder. Do you see what I'm saying? We can play around with that, right? So now we've just drawn our first 3D objects, right? So this would be like a rod, and this would be like a tube. So if I was to hatch in here just like that, that would signify that we have an opening in this tube. How you doing, Chris? You see that? That signifies that we've got an opening in this tube. So if we were to hatch it here, that gives us the impression that it's a solid, like a piece of wood or a piece of metal. Because it's easier for you guys to see what I'm drawing. And I draw with the pen all the time, as you can see here. I'm pretty much always drawing with the pen. Oops, upside down. Well, there you go. Just gives you a quick example as to why I draw it. And I'm always drawing with the pen. All with the pen. Zero rubber. Good. So now, let's look at this shape again. So we draw our two circles again. However, look at this quickly. One circle, two diagonal lines. We're not going to draw the full circle. We're just drawing an arc here. So now we don't see, because that would almost signify a transparent rod, right? Or cylinder. So now we have a solid rod or cylinder. A little bit of both. It's more about understanding, as you can see in the title, understanding 3D objects. Because when we draw things 3D, especially the human body, I like to use very simple shapes to start. Has anyone got any questions about that? Because remember, don't lose sight of our end goal. Our end goal is to draw something like that. Or to draw a person like this. But I'm not showing that yet, because I don't want to give away too many answers. Right, so now what we're going to do is draw a box here, a couple of diagonal lines, and then finish it off here. So now we've got a rectangular box. How do I draw Spidey? That's a totally different tutorial. So now what we'll do is I'm going to do it from another angle. I'm going to draw my box here, my diagonal lines, and now we have, again, a three-dimensional object, because we see the top, we see the front, and we see a side. So these are the three dimensions that we're talking about. If you get art block, just do something like this. What is Spidey? Oh, Lord, where is he gone? He's crawled away. I'm drawing a Spidey. He's referring to this one. He's referring to this Spidey that I need to finish off. I want to see him again for Ref UK. Huh? I don't know what that means. Sorry, I don't know what that means. So, good. So now we've just worked out how we can visualize three-dimensional objects, right? Blocks and so on. So we could actually start combining three-dimensional objects. Yes, it is a little bit it is a little bit complicated. I don't think I'm going to be doing that in a tutorial anytime soon. So let's take a sphere, and then I'm going to, you have to imagine, I'm going to attach a stick to this here like that. So it's almost like we've got a microphone. Do you see that? So I've taken a spherical object and I've added it to our rod or cylinder, and then we have something that looks more or less like a microphone or a really big, okay, thank you. Like a lolly or something, like a weight or something like that. We could even add another sphere here, and then we've got a weight. So we've got a dumbbell. You see? That is a 3D object. We add a little bit of shading, signifying where the shadows are, and we've got a three-dimensional object. This is so fun. That is what I like to read, because these are the foundations to when we go on to draw people. That's why I'm doing it really, really slowly. Right? Brilliant. If you like what you see, please hit the like button and follow me and send me money. No, I'm joking. And subscribe to my YouTube. Someone's going to say, he wants money from me. No, I don't want money from you. I just want you to subscribe to my YouTube, really. That's all I want. And to share. And to send my moderator money. That's all I want. Anyway. Understanding shapes is the key part. What's YT? It's YouTube. My YouTube is Art Walker, and this is being filmed. So if you want to watch this again, if you come in a bit late, you can watch it again. So let's get into this. Right. Now we've worked out that we can start combining objects. So for example, let's combine our square or our cube here with what should I combine it with? A spherical object again. You can think, okay, that's looking a bit odd. That could be like a chair, the bottom of a chair where you cut the leg off a chair, and it's got this padding here, right? You could say, yeah, okay, I could get that. You start to see, yeah, okay, let me draw that again. We've got our spherical object, and now I'm going to attach my rectangle to it. Imagine it goes on further here, right? Imagine it just goes on further. You can say, oh yeah, I can see that, right? I can see that we've got something, it could be metal, it could be wooden, and it's attached to something else. So now we're going into the realms of three-dimensional visualizations. As an architect student, I need you. Oh, that's nice. You should have been here earlier for the 1 point and 2 point perspective live streams. That was this morning. That was a really good one, actually. There were tons of people in there, and I have already uploaded it. So if you check that one out, you'll see 1 point and 2 point perspective. That will help you with architecture 100%. The hard part is putting these objects into... Yeah, well, this is why I'm not really worrying about proportion yet, right? We're not going to worry about proportion. What I want you to do is just draw some objects and connect another object to it, like that. You see, now we've got a lollipop, right? If we add another stick to it, it's no longer a lollipop, but it's just something with some like toothpicks. Some of these are going behind, they look a bit shorter. Some are shorter, some are even shorter. And now we're going into the realms of drawing 3D objects. Very simply, but it does work. And we will get into drawing the human body in a minute. So look at this now. I drew some triangles here. So now let's turn this triangle into a 3D object. See? We can see a little bit of the side here. I'm going to hatch it up. Now we've turned our triangle, this one here, for example, into a 3D object. I'm going to do another one. Let's do it the other way. Like this. It's not so much 3D, but it's at an angle. And then we'll do another one. Let's go like this. So now we are back onto drawing 3D. We only see two. This one here is a little bit hidden, but you get my drift. Good. Let me just check the chat quickly. Yes, that's what I did this morning. Yeah, check it out. It was a good one, a really nice long one. And there's also part 1 that is more basic. And then part 2 has got both 1 and 2 point perspective. And then what I will be doing is I'm going to do a deep dive into 2 point. And then I'm going to do 3 point, 4 point, and so on. So if you want to learn that, you can get that all from me at some point. Because I'm going to restudy it. I did study it before, but I just never used it. So I just put it down for a while. Good. So happy. Oh, he's don't cry, semicolons. Don't cry. You'll make me cry as well. So let me just see what's going on. Please hit the like button if you like what you see. So what has this got to do with drawing the human body, right? What else have we ever... Oh, we haven't done one shape yet. Let's draw some shapes like so. Simple. You could call them almost like cereal box type shapes. Don't worry about the size. Don't worry about the proportion. This is not something we're going to worry about today at all. So if it's disproportional, it doesn't matter. All right? That's not a problem. So how about if I take this shape here and I combine it with this shape here. They're separate. What do you see? What do you see here? What does anyone see? Not a gap between the shapes. Yeah. But if you put... Ah, there you go. Jania's got it. Jania has got it. This could be the human body. The human torso, for that matter. You see that? That could be the human torso. I'm just grabbing something. Oops, that's blowing away. I was just trying to grab an image that I had from a previous live stream. Hold on, excuse me. I'm just... Well, he's not there. I thought he was there, but he's not there. So, now, this is how we're going to start the body drawings that we're doing, right? So, try now again. draw this box shape. As I said, do not worry about proportion. Do not worry about, oh, this line is crooked and this is not straight. That is irrelevant, 100% irrelevant. I just want you to be drawing these two shapes together. So as we did before, we got our 3D triangle and we're placing it on top of our 3D box. That's all you have to worry about. Just understanding that part. I can finally learn how to draw. Yeah, well, you're welcome, Kim. So, are we getting that? So, if I draw the same objects from the side, it will look simply like this. Is everyone in agreement? Is everyone in agreement? This would be the side view. Yes, you see that? However, human beings, we don't look like that. We don't stand as straight, right? So this is slightly misleading, but I will clarify it later on. So I'm just going to add a little bit of shading. You can just get into the practice of adding shading where you require it, and it just gives your work a little bit more, it makes it just look a little bit more professional when you just add a bit of shading. And it's also good practice. Just like that. Right, so we've studied 1, 2, 3, roughly four different shapes. It's cut off. I don't think so. I'm not sure. I don't know why it's cut. Is it cutting off, Kim? It shouldn't be, is it? The title might be at the edge, but when touching, what is the direction? Say, for example, these images are a little bit over the place, all over the place. But if the light was here, it would be coming from this direction because we have shade on the back here. Here would be the light direction would be also here. And the light direction would be from here. That's why it's got shade in here. So these are all a little bit all over the place. However, here we would have shading purely because it's being cast by the upper body, so to say. Okay. Push the camera up a bit. Okay, we'll do that. Let's go a little bit up and I'll shift. Let me just shift a few bits along. And then, whoops, I don't want to knock over my wall. So, is that a bit better? A little bit more space. Okay. Sorry about that. I didn't pick that up. I thought I tried to do it earlier. Good, but no problem. So let's go into this in a bit more depth. So remember, this is wrong. Even though it is this. It is that. This is right. In theory. But for what we are using it for, that is not correct, right? Good. So let's go a little bit further. I'm going to draw box shape. Don't worry too much about proportion, right? But obviously don't go mad. Don't go crazy big, right? Box shape. And then we're going to draw our V shape. Has everyone got that? Let me know when you've drawn that. Much better. Good. The direction. Lines with respect to light. Yes. I've got a hatching tutorial. Here. I'll just grab that quickly. Here you can see the light source would be coming from this direction here. That's why it's shaded here. That's why it's shaded here. This is a ring, so the light goes straight through it. This is a sphere, so the light hits the top, and then we have more shading towards the bottom, and we would also have it cast a shadow on the surface. Just found that, so that was lucky. Oh my God, I am so lucky. Yes, I'm uploading this. Yes, I am. You got it. Good. So, now, this looks like our torso from here to the hips, right? Remember, you're welcome, Noah. You're more than welcome. Just share, mate. Just share, please. That's all I ask. So now we're going to use our circles and add 2 circles. Just roughly proportional. Pretty simple. Would you not agree? Would you not agree? That is pretty simple. And I think I've just made a mistake, actually. Yeah, I forgot something. I forgot to say that we should draw straight lines. The most basic line ever, I forgot to tell us to draw. Oh my days. I can't believe the lot. This is the key one. This is the key. I'm going to put some, I don't know, lightning around it, because that is the key. I don't know how I missed that. That should be number 1. Lines. Getting old, mate. I tell you, I'm getting old. So, lines, circles, and boxes. So, okay, let's go a little bit further. I'm adding my lines roughly to the edge of this box. Roughly to the edge of this box. Then I'm adding some more circles or spheres. I'm going to add another line, roughly the same length as this one here. Same again here. Circle, circle. Is everyone seeing what we've got here? Is everyone seeing what we've got here? I think I've got a anime style shading tutorial on my TikTok feed. I think so. But anime is more block shading. I would say generally. It's a little bit more block shading. It doesn't have to fade to be realistic. Well, at this stage, we're not going for realism at the moment. We're just going for basic shapes and basic shading. And thank you very, very much for all the gifts. It's time for Kanala, Kane, Larkin, and DJ Manny. Much appreciated. Thank you very much. Yes, the anime style is pretty much more blocky. And they just use, and it's obviously angular. Manga angles, mangles. So, back to what we're doing here. So we've now got the upper body and arms of a person, right? So let's add to our hips here. These are hips. Add 2 lines like that, please. Why do I not use a pencil? It's because I draw everything with the pen. I am a pen freak. There you go. I draw everything with the pen. Unfortunately. But I will learn one day how to use a pencil. I will learn one day how to use a pencil, but I just use the pen all the time. I'm just a bit weird. Good. So has everyone done that? So now we are going to go down like so. Twice. And add our kneecaps. The pencil is a luxury for me because I can rub things out. Here I can't. I'm stuck with every line in the deep end, and I like to draw like that. I like that risk. I think it just fine tunes my old brain. So now we go the same length twice. As I said, whoops, I've gone down a little bit wrong there. There you go. You see, if I had a pencil, I could rub that out. Same length again twice. And now we have our ankles. That's good. The shadows themselves don't have to be very realistic, but yes, I would use, if you're drawing something, I would follow the contours of the object. Yes. No, I don't do digital art. Yeah. That's like being a samurai, you know. You have to have that death stroke. I'll show you something quickly, what I drew in a live. So if you want to see how I draw things live, I drew, let me just show you, because sometimes people say, you didn't draw that without a rubber and stuff like that. This is it. This was one of them. I did a couple actually. But it just, for me, it just enhances my concentration. So I drew this one in a live in 30 minutes. And I drew this one also in a live. And that one's the one that I also filmed. But this one took me an hour and a half. And this was 0 rubber, 0 pencil, 100% pen. And you can see it live, so there's no faking it in that sense. And then I did this one in half an hour quickly without any kind of rubber. Good. So let's get back to it. So like before, yes, they are correct. 100% correct. So like I said before, we have here some elements. We are now going to add some triangles for the feet. Like so. Yes, these are 100% correct. I have checked them out. Well, this one I can say this was from an anatomy photograph, and this is what I came up with. So we are now getting to the torso. Let's just add the head, a simple circle. Oops, I'm off the paper, off the card there. As I said, don't worry too much about proportion. And then we are going to add, it's sort of like a box shape, but I'm going to say it's more like this type of shape. A box with a triangle on the end. So we have our circle, then we add our box, and then we add our triangle on the end, right? So that's what we're going to do there. So we got our circle, we'll add our box, triangle on the end. So that is our face. Thank you, Ish. We are getting to the torso, my Russian friend, or I think you're, well, Russian speaking, I should say. And we simply add a triangle here for the hands, or V shape. Let's say a V shape is probably more accurate, just for the hands. So now we've drawn a simple person. You don't have to. You don't have to. But if you want to draw accurately, then yes. So this is how a simple body looks, right? And I encourage everyone to learn that. Learn the body. And then I also encourage you to learn how to draw the body in different positions. But I'm not going to do that now. We're going to stick to what we had here. We're going to add some cylinders to our existing person, right? So this is why I use different colors, because then people can see the new stuff that I'm adding to the image. See, so that represents an arm, and it looks like one of those wooden dolls, but we don't have to have one because we can draw one ourselves. And now we add cylinders from joint to joint. So everywhere you see a circle, it's a joint. And then, so we have our thigh, and then we add our thigh. The hip area we draw similar to a pair of underpants. That boxes it off nicely. And then we add another cylinder under here. And then we can add another cylinder around the neck area. And then we have our wooden dummy. Oh, excuse me. I misunderstood your name. So, has everybody got that? Has everyone got that? Yes. Thank you, Jania. And if you like what you see, please hit the like button. Thank you, Ish. That's what I like to see. So, now, let's take it to the next step, right? Say, for example, I'm going to show you all. See how fast we've moved, right? We've done 37 minutes understanding 3D objects. So we went really basic, really basic. We went gradually more complicated. So, and now we've put it all together. So this is cool because we are now moving forward. So let's draw. Let's draw a person. So everyone draw a straight line in the middle. We're going to draw our face. So let's go circle, box, and then we're going to add our triangle. Later on, you're going to change that, right? But for now, this is just a good way to understand what the human face looks like from the front. I'm not sure if we're going to go too dynamic because this is for beginners. This is really quite for beginners, but if it moves fast enough, we can. How do you use guidelines if you draw with a pen? I don't have any. I don't have any guidelines. I just draw. Yeah. No, zero guidelines. So, now we are going to add the shoulder area. So, excuse me, the collarbone area here. This time, we're not going to go totally straight. We're going to go a little bit narrower. So, roughly, let's say half, roughly one head width until here. We're going to box this off, but it's going to be slightly narrower at the bottom, like so. We're not doing the shading. We're just going to stick to the basics first. Yes, the fingers here. Yeah, check my YouTube. I've got one on that. We're not going to cover that today in this live stream, but if you go to my YouTube, there is an eye drawing or more than one on there that covers that exactly. So let's keep going. Back to here. We now add our V shape for the hips. It doesn't matter if it's a man or woman. How you doing, Jamal? Doesn't matter. It's just getting the basics right. So even if you've got it wrong, it doesn't matter. Draw it again. So I want you all to continue now and draw the rest of the body like I showed you before. Wherever you got a joint, you add a sphere. So continue in this way. Don't worry too much. Usually the legs are around 4 heads long, but don't worry, we're not going to go into that today. We just want to stick to speed learning. Doesn't have to be perfect initially. Later on, we can fine tune it. So we've got a basic human being standing from the front. Can we use yes? That's exactly where we're going. Thank you for the kind gifts. Ish, Joya, Riffen, and Ish again. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. Kobe or Jordan? I don't watch basketball. I don't care. I don't care about basketball. I've never watched a game. I've never watched a full game in my life. So can we use the same layout but just change the size? Oh, for sure. If you're drawing a person from the front, yeah, 100%. And the bulkier figure, that we will probably cover that in a minute. But let's hold the questions for a moment. Now, we are going to add, again, our cylinders. And I'm going to add a cylinder that slightly narrows here. See that? Slightly narrows, because that is how our forearms are shaped. I haven't got an example. Yes, here, I've got this one here. Because our forearm is wider. You see that? You see, I've drawn up the bone very quickly here. So this is where our forearm is wider at the top, and that's what we're going to cover. We're going to cover all of this today, if you guys are still alive by the time I'll finish with you. So, and then here, again, a cylinder. As you can see, I'm not worrying too much about it. Here, I draw it like a rectangle, which represents almost like a pair of underpants. And then I add my cylinders again. As you see, I'm not laboring over, is it correct? And we're not going to worry about that. We are worrying about having an understanding as to where and how we move these basic parts and use these basic parts. And then, as I said, we have a cylinder here that represents the neck. And we can just join it straight. So we've pretty much got the same looking dude here. Right, I will pause the action, hit the like button if you like what you see. And what's your name? Liz Macmim. You can ask your questions now. Feel free. Anyone else can ask a question. I will pause the action. I will pause the action for a second. How do you draw the arms like this? This is simply circle, line, circle, line. That's the shoulder. That's the elbow. This is the wrist. So we could have the fist here. That's all I did. And then all I did was add these cylinder shapes. That's how we've got arms. Do I do color theory? Not really. Because I don't really work with color at all. I should. But chances are my color theory is based on the pens that I can use. Yeah. Well, you're in the right place, Art Nook. You're in the right place. I struggle with it as well, but, less and less every time. Yes, it would apply to 3D modeling because we are literally making almost a 3D model, because if we were to connect these joints with the, I can't even remember what, there was a, you could connect the joints and it could actually move. You could almost animate it and it will move in a certain way. This is very similar to 3D. Yeah, I'm just going for my red, blue and green period. Yes, we're getting there. We are getting there. Is that what it's called? Inverse kinetics. In Cinema 4D, I can't remember what it was called. Was it? I think it was just called simply a joint. Where you kind of, I can't even remember. It's such a long time. Rigging. Rigging, that's the word I was looking for. There you go. And you can make this guy move like this. And that was the one. Thank you very much, Kim. Yes. Rigging. I was thinking that sounds a bit difficult. But thank you, damn. It's Shuana. She sounds very intelligent with that statement, mate. My brain nearly went into overload. I was thinking, was it called that? No, I don't animate, no. Okay, could be, yeah. The new ones, they've got their different ways of putting it, yeah. But I had Cinema 4D like way back. This is 2D, yes. Obviously. And now he will get up off the paper. That would make you laugh. Exactly, rigging and binding with the mesh and all that kind of stuff. There you go. Yeah. Sorry, mate. Nice to see you though, mate. And thank you for sending me all the stuff that you're doing. My challenges. If you check that, DJ Manny, check my live stream. There's one specifically on hatching. That will help you a lot. And it's quite a basic one. And I've still got some on my TikTok as well. They're not videos. They're more like flick throughs where you have to go through the pages. Oh, I don't know. I don't want to learn to animate. I used to want to do it, but I don't want to do it anymore. It's too much work. Too much work. I'm getting too old now. Getting too tired. After 2 live streams, I need to sleep for 3 weeks. No, I don't. I'm joking. Anyway, we digress. Right, I'm going to get my magic markers out because I need to get serious now. I did this before, but we're covering the same sort of subject, right? So we're going to do it again. Is this line here, this blue line here, is it at the front or is it at the back? This blue line here. Thank you, Danny. Danny, excuse me. DJ Manny, excuse me. These are the markers of the century. Everyone laughs at my markers. There you go. Back. Who's saying back? Give me who's saying back? Who's saying front? Who's saying back? Who's saying front? Right. You are all actually half right. Because this is what you have to understand when you are drawing 3D. You have to understand it first as a 2-dimensional object. So say, for example, here now, right, I've drawn up until the hips. This would be the spine. Our spine, like I said, does not, this is wrong, right? Remember I said that. It looks like I've done it like that there, which is fair. But in theory, it actually looks like that. It bends like this. Very important to understand. And then the hips here, you can view that as like a cone here, like that. That's probably one of the best ways to remember it. It's like a cone shape, and that is the spine. So I had a few say it was the back. I've had a few say it was the front. Remember we drew a tube here. So we're going to draw the same tube here. This shape here, we will add like so. We've got our opening here. We've still got our opening here. So now we've drawn the same person from the side. However, no, it's not the middle. No, exactly. So it's actually the front and the back, right? What do I mean? This line represents to my solar plexus. This line would also be here. And then lastly, we would have, excuse me, we would have the spine run into here. And then the spine runs along to here. So it's a bit of a tricky one. Well, most people's spines are quite bent. Maybe it's a bit extreme, but I could say the same for this drawing here. Do people's arms look like that? I don't know if that's being pedantic, but it's just to show you that the spine is bent. That's what I mean. That's all I'm trying to express. You see, that's what I mean. It just has to make sense. I don't have to sit here and painstakingly draw the spine and get every dimension. I don't really want to go down that road, because then people are going to bounce and they're going to say this is too long, too slow. But this is a quick representation. If I have to draw something precisely, as you may have seen, I will take my time and I can draw it precisely. For this specific live stream, I don't need to draw everything precisely. That's my point. Good. Okay. So can there be more shapes of the spine, or does it always have to? Well, obviously depends, because you have to, if you lean backwards or if you lean forwards, you have to think about where would your spine bend. It certainly doesn't bend here, does it? Well, I hope it doesn't. I hope it doesn't. I don't know what that means. How long have I been drawing? Seriously, for the last 11 months. I suppose you could say, yes, that is probably a little bit too bent. You could probably say the spine is a bit too small. If we're going to do a proportion tutorial, then it's a totally different tutorial. Yeah, but I've always been drawing, but now I'm seriously studying it a bit more now. I'm putting in a lot of work now. I never used to put work in. Now I'm putting in work. I've started my drawing journey literally 11 months ago, and that's when I started drawing and doing TikTok live streams. So I've always been drawing, but now I'm actually going for it, putting in the work. So are we going to discuss this spine again, or are we going to live with this? Because if we're going to discuss the spine again, I'll just leave it. I'll just go away, go to my bed and draw Spider-Man. Marlon, you have to watch the beginning. The beginning looks like this. And this is being recorded, so I will post this on my YouTube. And I'm still learning, mate. I've got so many goals. You do not know. I've got a lot of challenges ahead of me when it comes to drawing. I don't feel I'm at the right point in my career, so I have got a lot to learn. Trust me, I've got a lot I want to learn. I just started. Exactly, and lines. Perfect. That's Michaela, that's the best way to start. Once you start to perfect lines, then you might start to perfect, I don't know, body shapes like we're trying to do here. Then you go to the next shape, stage where you start to add muscle. Excuse me, my spaghetti bolognese is giving me grief at the moment. Sorry about that. No, I'm not going to paint. No, I'm going to stick to the pen because I haven't got a room. If I paint, I'd like to set up a room actually. I'd like to have a room set up because I don't like to take things away and put things away and take them back out, and I don't really like doing that. Drawing's easy for me. I can tidy it away quickly, get on, and get back out. Quick question: how many pens do? Ah, they take it. It takes a long time to get through these pens. It starts here, but this one's gradually dying. I might keep them actually, and then I can sell them for millions when I'm famous. No, I don't think I will be, but never mind. I don't want to be famous either. Are animals easy for you? What? Yeah, not really. No, I would have to study it as well. Yes, I do. And I've got a face drawing tutorial on my YouTube, and that goes into drawing the face, which is really cool actually. It's a really a good way, but we have to get there. We have to get there. I've got it here. This one, you can find this tutorial where I talk about spheres, and it's very similar to what we're doing now. A bit lively, a bit mad, as you can see, but it talks about how to draw the nose. Do you go to... No, this is just a basic pen. Yeah, well, that's all right. That's good. Maybe you've got a skill for drawing cats. Just ordered some biros. Wicked. Well done. Why not indeed? Biros are the best. They're cheap and you can use them, and you can get some really cool effects. Like I can show you again. That's all biro. This is all biro. You can get some wicked effects with biros. So, are we going to continue? I thought good. Okay, let's keep going before we get lost again in conversation. So where were we? So now, the last stage here would be to add the muscle, right? So I'm going to go into it quite quickly because it's going to get very deep very quickly if we don't slow it down. If you start learning anatomy, start it like this, right? Start drawing your rib cage, for example, like this, and then round it all off. And then, as you can see, I'm gonna just take this basic model here and show you. Oh, in fact, let me use a different color and show you where you can take a badly drawn body like this one, and I'm going to show you exactly where you can take it with the right knowledge of the anatomy. Right, as you can see, I will just continue to look at the screen. I haven't got a reference or anything like that, but you can see basically how quickly you can turn a quite badly drawn human into something quite realistic. So I'm going to add oblique muscles like so. The lats at the back, should have done that already. I can add a little bit on the face here. So when you start to break things down like this, it's easier when you have to design your own character, because you can design your own character from the front, you can design your own character from the side, and so on. So I would encourage anyone to learn this. So we've just literally taken a basic body and turned it into something half decent looking. And it didn't take 6 hours. On you know, that would be, I think I'm going to do one of those very soon, actually. What's your name? I'll just missing Freaky. I'm going to do that. But when you study the anatomy, it starts to fall into place. And then you start to really understand, like, say, for example, the chest here, it should be a little bit higher, if I'm honest. It should be higher. But we're not. I don't want to be pedantic because then it's just going to jumble the live stream. Do you see what I mean? And proportion is quite difficult because there are so many different things that you have to take into account. And like here, it's all about head proportion. And then people say, yeah, but if it's a short person, then it changes it again. So proportion is it's variable, right? So I try not to focus too much on proportion when I'm just sketching something up. It just has to be roughly 7.5, 8 heads high. So that's roughly what it should be. So let's say 1, so that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's a little bit longer. You see, so that's a good benchmark, around 8 heads. But if you've got someone shorter, it's probably going to be totally different. If you've got someone with really long legs, it's going to be totally different. So these are the things I would focus on that later on, proportion and stuff like that. I can draw Darth Vader, but I'm not going to. I'm struggling with drawing the head. I might just touch on the head very quickly in a moment. Can you do that without? Yes, I can. Would you recommend a miniature mannequin? Yeah, why not? Why not indeed? I haven't got one, but why not indeed? You might buy one and find out you don't like it. Excuse me. And you might buy one and you find it's amazing. I don't have one. I had one of those wooden ones, but it was really rubbish because it wasn't moving correctly. It was a bit stiff, and I just ditched it. Excuse me. Well, I think it's more to do with the spine, but I'm not going to go into a flow-in position because this is it's for basics. But if you look at the human body, a lot of the rhythm comes from the spine. It's all to do with the hips and the spine. So as you can see, we've just got maybe a little bit too extreme there, but this would be more a cooler type pose if we just tilt the spine. Do you see what I mean? You have to tilt the spine, then you got that kind of flow, but it's all here. I'm rushing it now. I can see it. I'm rushing it because it's slightly off topic. I don't really want to go off topic anymore because I'm starting to fly all over the place. So, yeah, not really. I don't know. They're probably not too good. But I'm not really, as I said, I'm not really thinking about proportion here. I'm not really thinking about it. I just want to show you where everything is. Yes. So it's basically you go in stages. If you can't draw straight, if you can't draw the muscle straight like this, where you just say, oh yeah, I know where that muscle is, I know where that one is, the bicep is like that, and the elbow is roughly here. Do you see what I mean? This is more straight. I've just drawn that without any guidelines. If you can't draw it straight and you want to learn how to draw it straight, start it in stages. You have to start in stages, or you're just going to be frustrated and you're going to throw the pen and walk away. It's just the way it is. Yeah, there is a time for proportion, but I don't think it's appropriate now, because this is understanding basic 3D objects. So we're kind of digressing a little bit, and I really wanted to go into foreshortening a little bit with regards to these basic shapes. So we really need to steer away from the proportion question. I think I have one you describe. I'm still learning anatomy, but poses mess me up. As I said, poses, I'll have to do that in another one, because this is about the 3D, basic 3D objects. Do you think women's body? No, I don't think women's bodies are harder to draw. No. It depends on how much detail you want to add to your elbow. It depends on how much detail. If you really want to learn how to draw the elbow, you have to start to understand how you have these two bones that cross like so towards the hand here. That should be a bit straighter, excuse me. If you are struggling with drawing the elbow, that's what you need to understand. And then you can add your proportion and your muscle. Because the muscle does actually connect slightly to the lower forearm here, and then you add your forearm detail. That will help. But you've got to understand that you have bicep detail, your bicep here, and it does connect somewhat to your forearm, and then you have your forearm muscles that do also connect with your bicep. That's maybe where you're stumbling. So, okay, we are running into overtime really badly. So I'm going to go back to what we planned. And what I planned was to explain to you about basic shapes. So let's get back into the basic shapes. I'm just tidying that up because it looked a bit messy and I didn't like it. So that's a female. Very quickly drawn. So now, my last tip for you all is to understand these basic shapes at different angles, like we did in the beginning. So I'm going to add some cylinders at different angles. Just random, right? So just draw some random cylinders, different angles. And as a bit of practice, now add your first sphere here. So let's call that number 1. Let's do that a bit bigger. Number 1, number 2, and number 3. So let's add number 1 here. We've got number 2 here. And then we add number 3 here. And then we can add our hand. Kim, drop the pen, mate. Boom. Oh, that is legendary. Look at that. That is legendary, mate. Look. Let's do the same again here. 1, 2, and then I don't know, I don't want it to clash with the other one. Let's just do it here. 3. Then you add your hand. Press up position. 1, 2, and 3. We've got a hand or part of the human body getting ready to do some press ups. So let's go 1 here. Let's go 2 here and 3 here. We've got someone flexing their bicep. And last but not least, we have 1, 2, and 3. Someone doing some wide press ups, for example. And that's how we take basic objects, circles, spheres, cylinders, 3D cylinders, to create complicated human body parts. Freaky, if you haven't seen my hand drawer, I take it you haven't seen it. I am going to take the liberty to say you haven't seen my hand drawing one. Check out on my YouTube, it's called Crooked House. Crooked House hand drawing technique. Check that one out. That is legendary. If I say so. Oops, technique. If I say so myself. Oh, that's very nice of you, Turbulences. That is really nice. I appreciate that. Okay, but it will be this is being recorded. But check my YouTube. It's got that Crooked House one, and it's a full video as well. It's a good one. It's a fun one. You're welcome, Teddy. I use a circle. Yes. Okay, I'll get that. What I show you, you can change it. You don't have to use square. Some people use an egg shape, which is also very accurate. You can draw an egg shape. Do you see what I'm saying? And then obviously we have the green line at the front, which represents the front of the spine. Excuse me, front of the spine. Front of the rib cage. And the blue line here, which represents the spine. That works as well. Whatever I show you, make it work for yourself. Don't just take it and say, oh, well, he said it. I didn't say you should only do it like that. Never do that. Find your own way of making it work for you, because maybe you've got a slightly different way of understanding it. Good. So, okay, well, that is all for now. Thank you very, very much for joining and taking part in this live stream. That's exactly what I encourage. Find your own way to draw things, right? I'm just giving you the stepping stones, hopefully, that you can understand that we started just drawing circles, squares, and lines, for example, right? And now I'm sure, or you guys can tell me before you go, now do you think you understand how to draw the human body like this? Yes, it will be on YouTube. Yeah, now you understand. There you go. That's my goal. Your goal now maybe is to take that to the next stage, and that next stage will be to understand the proportion. What is the difference between the male and female body? What are the shapes? What, do you see what I mean? It's just a base. So now you can say, well, say for example, if you don't draw like me, it's like me saying draw like me. No, you don't have to draw like me. You might draw totally different, in a totally different way, and you just apply these skills to what I've shown you. That's the goal. Stick to your style. Do not become some clone and copy somebody else. That's why I tend not to draw other people's artwork too much, because I don't want to be a clone. I want to discover my own style, and it's important that you stick to your own style, or it just gets too complicated. Because me teaching you how to draw like me would be probably not the best idea for you. Exactly. Comparing, yes. Don't compare too much. Be influenced by and inspired by, but find your own way. Make it work for yourself. Excuse me. So there you go. And then look, as you can see, we can turn that quite quickly into a physical arm, or that represents a more physical human arm. Then we can start to go to the next level of arm anatomy and how it bends and contorts and so on. As you can see, it's not a million miles away, but we have to do it stage by stage. Good. I'm going to wish you all a lovely afternoon. Thank you all for joining me. I will be posting this on my YouTube. If you're not following me, I do have an Instagram, but I don't really use it. It's just too much. I don't want to spend my whole life on social media for the likes. So I'm just going to stick to the two that I have and see how it goes from there. Thank you very much to all of you that joined, and thank you for all of your shares and all your support. Much appreciated. Thank you very much, Turbulences, for sharing it with your friends. And I will be posting this on YouTube, hopefully within the next few hours or so. Have a good afternoon, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.